I was at a party one night and I was quite good friends with Pat, and I thought, well, it was like a dream I'd always sort of wanted to do, make my own thing with all my pals, but proper sort of good. And then, like, you've seen The Only Way is Essex and that, and I just wanted to make what Essex is really like, because it's not really like that, and I just wanted to sort of make it my own interpretation of what it really is.
And I was sort of at a party with a good friend of mine, Bo, who plays Alfie in the noughties. And we just had a couple of drinks together. He told me that he wanted to put a Teen Drums together and he's going to write a script. And then I was more of all of the media side within it behind the camera. So he sent me a script, so I formatted it, put it in the right format for the other actors to have, put up some storyboards with Jess. Jess is really good to work with as a co-director. So she sort of put other things in place for us, and then we got it ready for shooting. And then shot it from there, edited it, and then from there we just wanted to make more episodes, and so we have.
Probably the raunchier scenes, I think they're quite exciting.
No, I struggled with them at first because I've never been given a character like that before, but everyone acted really professional about it, so they got done, yeah.
I mean, I was behind camera for that one and I was thoroughly enjoying it.
My favourite scene, also probably the funniest, would probably be the blowjob scene with Lisa and Ashley. It was quite awkward to film, but I mean, not really for us, but more for her and him. Just like moving the head and just telling us to get a bit closer and things like that was just really funny. As well, like that same sort of scene of where we was getting the condom put under the door, the amount of like effort that we had to do to put that underneath it, it was just like just sliding it under the door, but that wouldn't work, so we had to get a bit of card as well at the end. And where Leon actually pulled his pants down as well, but he was actually wearing pants in it.
All the party scenes, where the tunnel scene where we got everyone, it was just like the big one where everyone was together, and it was just like, it proper felt like it was a set and that, and yeah, it was just fun.
My favourite one was the subway, but it was really, really cold out there.
Mate, it was freezing. The best part of that was when you weren't needed and you finished your scene, everyone just ran back to the cars
Put the
and
heating
just
on.
sitting there like...
Yeah, we just wanted some stealing car scene, but it didn't go exactly to plan and took us about 2 hours. Dan can't drive, so when the character George had to jump in and nick this motor, he sort of had to fly around a corner, but he kept stalling. But it was proper good fun, but obviously it took all day.
Whoa, wow, that was easy. How long we got for this interview? We got all day, haven't we? I stalled it a fair few times. I had 4 driving lessons, and I hadn't had one in about 5 months. So I was like, yeah, this can't be too hard. So I've got in the car, and I'm like, yeah, it's quite hard. You've got to multitask. You've got to act and drive. So I'm like, I've got the clutch down. Like, Bo comes over, you ain't nicking the car, you tell. I was like, yeah, stalling it. But finally we got a stunt double in, and
You had to sit on them, didn't you?
oh yeah. Well, first of all, from the long shot, someone chucked on my hoodie. Obviously, where I'm not as big as him, he was massive. He put a tart on him, he drove off. But for the close-up scene, I was actually sitting on Rezo's lap. And if you actually look closely in the episode, you can see me. I'm like pushed up against the windscreen, steering. It was a good laugh. Took us a couple of hours though.
There was a few scenes where I was actually in the cast as well, but they were really, really cooperative actually. Fun, laid back. Sometimes they got a bit wild, but I think we managed to rein them in. What do you think?
I think, well, Bo, the one that is the one that obviously came up with the idea with myself. So he was always kind of putting the actors in place for us a lot of the time. But there was always, if we told them to like we needed some real emotions, like some of them just really gave it them all.
Yeah, no, they were.
Everyone sort of like does their own thing and cracks on with it. There's a I think.
But we all do have a laugh with
Yeah.
it as well.
Like Bo,
See the funny side to
yeah.
things.
Bo can have a laugh, but most of the time he does get quite stressed because obviously majority of the scenes are filmed in his house, so and he's got to make sure no one's messing about. And like if people are talking and you can hear it on the boom, right, and he gets proper stressed out. Like usually I just get my nut down and concentrate and do my lines and stuff. And get
Everyone usually acts really professional, so...
You do get Frank, who nicks and eats the prop chips.
A lot of issues to do with kind of domestic violence, you have to be very, very, very careful when you're handling scenes like that, because obviously in the Naughties it's a teen drama, there are some comical parts, but with a scene like that you have to be sensitive to the fact that there are people going through that and it is going to affect a lot of people from watching it. So we had to try and do it in a way that we weren't promoting it, we were showing the seriousness of it, but also in a way that's entertaining. And also kind of with drugs and alcohol, we have to really be careful because we're not trying to sell or kind of get kids to drink and to take drugs, but we still want it to be entertaining. So it is quite difficult, but I think we managed to do it responsibly and get what we wanted to get across without kind of being, I don't know, inappropriate, I'd like to think.
It was quite weird. I guess because like we had a random actor who I'd never met before or spoke to, like, whereas the mum, it was like my friend's mum, so I'd known her, it was a bit easier to act with her. Like this random bloke turned up my house, like, oh, you alright, mate? But I think it was good that him looking the way he did, like, no offence, but he was quite scary and weird looking, which fitted the character perfect. And I kind of enjoyed shouting at him, seeing as I'd met him for 5 minutes and he was in my house eating my chips. But it was good. It was. I think it was sort of like we had to rush it because I'd worked that night. But like, even though like we done it, it still come out right. Well, I thought it came out brilliant.
Yeah, it did.
I was really like impressed with it.
There was kind of the uncontrollable difficulties like the weather. Some of the scenes we wanted to shoot in maybe a summer sort of environment, but it started to rain and then it snowed. So we just made it work for us. Other than that, there's been times where maybe we didn't have the cameras we wanted, but we worked around it all and all the difficulties because of Pat, because me and Pat really work well together and we're able to just come up with solutions very easily because I think we bounce off each other.
I think in the biggest problem we had was actors, because everyone's busy, we're busy.
Yeah.
Just getting everyone in on the same day. I mean, it was episode 2 where we had to film it in 2 different parts. We had to film, even though it was the same scene, we had the girls on the sofa and the guys standing up and we just cut between them. So, but in the actual final edit, it looks fine and you can't really notice it unless you knew actually that they wasn't there.
Yeah.
There's a few like things, not exactly, but you're not always going to get it exact. And I mean, I've got everyone playing their parts like great. I mean, Dan, he's like perfect, sort of. He's just been doing it consistently, just been in like 3 episodes now. And yeah, I'm hoping to do like another one.
Well, let's just say I'm wearing a little less clothing than I am now in one of the scenes. But
You have to stay.
the forecast is cold for that day, so
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
expect anything.
Well, we're going to see all sorts happening, really. I definitely think the last one will be the best one, just because of what's happening. It's definitely longer. We just have to wait and see.